Hello, and welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. I am Jen.
Amanda.
Kathleen.
And we're the team behind Yarnia. And so welcome to our podcast all about knitting and crochet and things you can do with yarn, like embroidery and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
I have no idea what episode this is. It's gonna be...
I was actually surprised when I worked on the sheet this morning how high a number it is.
Okay.
Because it feels like 100 was so recently.
It does. Alright, I'm gonna say 115.
Oh, for
not
goodness
that
sakes.
When I meant
She
high,
said high!
That would be surprisingly
But-
high.
but-
Okay, 110.
really close.
109.
Yes.
Yay!
But it's still, I
Three
can't believe this
times.
is the 9th episode since our 100th. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah,
it feels
that's a
like we were
while.
just talking about that, you know?
Well, that's because the summer went crazy fast.
Yeah, the summer was super fast.
Super did.
Isn't it always?
It was
Isn't
insane.
it always?
We are recording this on perhaps one of the hotter days of the year.
Yes.
Um,
And immediately after all the pools in our area are closed.
exactly.
So unfortunate.
My yard's open.
I may
and
crash you later,
I
Jen.
know. And we're recording this the day before the first day of school, at least for my kids.
Yeah, for
my
the
kids
town
don't go to
Montclair.
school until Friday, so we might be at Jen's pool on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, it'll be.
While her kids
it'll
are
be
at school.
open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are excited to go / not excited to go, but
You're
whatever.
high school this
I'm
year?
excited for them to go. Yes, Max is in high school this year. Ollie's
Yeah.
in 4th.
Oh.
So cool. So
And
fun.
yeah, it's weird because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're big kids. Like you're big kids.
Yeah,
like,
for
that's
sure.
Crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah. So and Max is starting ultimate frisbee on
Nice.
Thursday.
Very nice.
I was like, excellent. He can
Hold
do
on.
ultimate frisbee. So yeah, so school's starting. So yeah, high school. He's never set foot in the freshman building. I had to text
Great.
my friend yesterday and basically be like, which one is the freshman building?
Oh my goodness.
Like as you're going down the street this way, is it
The little
right or
one.
the left? Because I
The-
thought it was this one, and somebody's telling me it's this one. None of us know.
The one with
mine.
the little theater.
Because they have Yeah, I don't know what that is. They had orientation in the middle of August.
Yeah, when you guys weren't here.
Yeah, when 90% of the people weren't here.
Yeah, I happened to drive down Park Street the day that it was going on, and it was like, oh yes, I'm going to have to start checking the schedule for...
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you.
But yeah, there were not that
bunches.
many kids going back and forth across the street. There
No.
really weren't.
I have to change my route back and forth to Yarnia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because of the high school traffic?
Oh, it's the
Watch
on. Yeah, I use
Oh,
my
that's true.
Fullerton.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, you got... Well, I mean, if you
I
come down
know,
to
I know.
Montclair, it's just as quick and easier to make that.
Well, but North Fullerton goes
straight through, yeah.
I know, when we do talk around after leaving here, you know, at night it's fine.
At
but
night
not
it's
during
great.
the day.
Yeah, not
And
until
all
like
summer it's
4:30.
Yeah, and all summer. I know you get so used to it.
Yeah.
I know.
One of my friends lives right across the street from the high school gym, and so
Oh, God.
and she's one of the places that we go for coffee on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Her house is one of the 2 original ones that we've been using for years. And all summer we get so used to parking in front of the house, but once school starts, they are out there with tickets, like no,
Yeah.
parking at all in front of her house anymore.
They're like, nope, not happening.
Thank goodness she has a long driveway.
Yes. But what else is going on around town? I've been out of the loop. I was at the Cape until a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't been around for much of the last week. We went up to get Haley settled in. She started school again too.
Haley.
In Western Mass, and she has an apartment this year, which she is very excited about.
That's fun. That's
And
a big step when you have your apartment. And
Yeah.
Well, and especially like moving into an apartment that it's not like a friend was already living there and there's any furniture. It was 2 side-by-side empty boxes. It's tiny. It's a little apartment, but it's so cute, and it's, you know, it kind of is like part of adulting, right? Like making the decisions about what's important to have here, what should we did bring some stuff back with us and everything. But it's so nice because it literally is like 1.25 miles up the road from her campus.
That's so good.
So
that's
it's not really
great.
walkable because it's a giant hill, but it's still, you know, it's close. Like she can be on campus. A big part of her school's atmosphere is really hanging out with your friends and doing things in the evening. They have what they call late night, like food from 9 o'clock on, and that's often when she has her last meal of the day. Like she doesn't really do big dinner. She'll do a big late lunch, and then she goes to late night, so she can still go to late night with her friends, and then get home by a reasonable hour, and she's not driving on those country roads, too far really late at night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's excited. Today is their convocation. They do a big procession, and this year she's going to be a senior, so she gets to be in her robe with her class color and everything. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, actually, we'll see if we can get any pictures of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so should we... I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but just thinking, this relates to what our question was last time.
Oh, yes, we should absolutely talk about our question last time.
So, our question last time, and then we'll go back to a little more around town, was what is your favorite back-to-school tradition? And it's always fun to read, everyone's traditions. Yep. A lot of them overlap what we've all done, that first day of school picture. Totally exactly. Oh, and, special treats either before or after school that day. And our winner
I feel like we should put pictures of all the Yarnia kids in there from first day of school.
Yeah, definitely. So Shelly Craft, 4273, said, our first day of school is always in the middle of the week. Same with us, yes. Usually whenever Monday or Friday. Our tradition is to take a photo in the front yard. This year, my oldest daughter started college, so she took a selfie on campus.
Aww,
which definitely, I love that. That's what, when Haley was first away at school, I was like, you need to take a selfie today.
Right, like, it's a first day of school.
Yep, so, so yay. So, Shelly, you won one skein of the West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply, which is the fun self-striping and self-patterning sock yarn that we showed you last time. And if you like, it can even be cranked into a tube.
Yes.
So we've got some of those over there, Amanda, if you want to pull one out to show. Haley did a couple of them. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's the, which one? Rum Paradise.
Rum Paradise, yeah.
Rum Paradise.
And they work great with suggested mini skein for heels and toes. So, so Shelly, email us with your address and whether you'd like it cranked into a tube so that you can make some socks, and we'll get that out to you. All right?
That'll be fun.
Great.
Yeah, Lily, it's her first year in college.
Yes. She started already, though, right?
She started, yes.
Yeah.
She's in class already, and some of you might sympathize with me. I don't hear from her. The only way I know what she's doing is Be Real. So I see her Be Real every day. She sees my Be Real, and we know what the other one's doing.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
Yay.
Yay for technology of different things, right? It's so true.
Though, that totally works.
Yeah, it's me and her sisters were all on B Real together. So.
I love those. Oh, it's a little crochet flower.
It's a little crochet flower in here. We'll talk about this in a minute.
Yes.
But yeah, so
the other big around town thing is something that's happening today, the day that this episode comes out.
Yes.
Which is the big Montclair Jazz Festival. I forget what they call it. Street. It's right on the poster there in the window. It's not backyard jamboree. It's when they shut
downtown jamboree.
Downtown jamboree. See, I knew there was a jamboree
from 1 p.m. to
9 p.m.
9
right?
p.m. Whoa.
And they closed down Bloomfield Avenue toward the Lackawanna Plaza end of town, and it is just a big old street party with 5 stages, I think.
Yeah,
fun.
I just hope the weather holds out because this week is supposed to be really hot, and not just for us, but a lot of the country. And then I think that's one of the days that it changes, but it is potentially thunderstormy all over the place. So I hope that they don't wind up getting rained out. That would be so sad.
I know, that would be a bummer.
Actually going to be one of the first weekends that I've been in town that I'm not working.
Ooh.
Every day on the weekend. I'm working. I'll be here on Sunday, but not on Saturday. So I think maybe the kids and I will go check it out because that's a walk from our place.
That's great.
Yeah.
It'll be good. That'll be a good afternoon activity. Maybe we can do that because it starts at 1.
Yeah.
If it's not rainy, Teddy will get worn out by 3 and he can
nap
go take
well.
a nap.
Yes.
This is always my strategy on what should I do when? Well, let's see. What facilitates a nap?
Right.
Yeah.
What will make a child nap?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We did that over the weekend. We went to Seaside Park. Just for a really quick beach trip, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Came home on Monday morning. And it was perfect beach weather, except red flags.
Oh.
The surf,
Saturday.
right?
Yeah,
From the remnants of the hurricane.
Yeah, so if you were a surfer, it was a great day to be out on the beach, and there were lots of surfers. I'd say, we could see 30 or so.
Wow.
But the lifeguards would not let even adults get past waist deep because they said it was very strong rip currents.
Oh. Yeah. I believe it.
The little kids, my little kids, were like anxious about even the waves, like close to shore, so they're fine. Yeah.
When they're like, I'm jumping waves, and you're like, the wave literally just washed over your feet and you jumped up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, that is exactly the right kind of speed for a little guy.
Yeah, it was nice. So, so that's what but the first day, we sort of like didn't have our timing right. And we ended up eating dinner at like 9:30.
Oh, no.
Very good dinner. It was also Wagyu weekend at Italy in the city, so 50% off Wagyu beef.
Oh, wow.
So we had steaks, but which made them like normal price. But Sunday we went to the beach, and then until like 2, came back. Teddy took a nap. I cooked dinner, so dinner was ready at 5.
Nice.
For an late lunch, early dinner, like maybe 4:30, 5. And then went to the boardwalk and got a snack at the boardwalk, right?
That's perfect.
Sounds nice.
They got their stuff at the arcade, like whatever little tickets they had collected. It's like Chuck E. Cheese outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Chuck E. Cheese outside.
So,
except for like $90 million.
well, right. Especially if you go and everybody's eating food and... I want to do 50 million rides.
Right.
Yeah, those rides add up.
I want to ride that. And then you're like, okay, I could have taken you to like Great Adventure.
Yeah.
For cheaper. But you wouldn't have been on the boardwalk.
Right. Yeah. No, we, after many years of doing this, I'm pretty good at setting expectations.
Yes.
And limiting the cash outlay. So,
Smart.
There's no whack-a-mole. We don't do the balloon popping, nor the basketball shooting.
No, because you're not going to win them.
No, and I'm going to spend $80 trying to get a stuffed frog.
Right, that I could buy at like Five Below for $5.
When we were on our way to, I don't know, probably when Gina and I were on the way to Cape Cod, we stopped at one rest stop, and it's one of those, claw game things. But you know what it was? It was like a 5-foot tall avocado plushie. It was so cool.
Oh my god, I would totally.
I had to send a picture to Haley. She's like, do it!
Do it. Get me this, mommy.
I'm like, what are we going to do with a 5-foot plush avocado?
Like, stick it in the corner.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. No.
But it was really fun. That's one of those things that is a little tempting. It's like, sure, I'll throw away $5 on that.
Yeah. I definitely played the Mario plushie one a few times. Well, Charlie wanted one, but like it was the plushies are too heavy for the claws.
Exactly.
Like
I know. I can't even imagine how anyone could ever win it. But they did. They actually had pictures of people who'd won it. There were like 3 pictures posted in the booth. I think they
were committed.
I think they do like they kind of had one winner every 2 weeks. They must somehow like make it easier or something. That's randomly. Yeah. You hope it's randomly, somehow it actually works that time.
And I think, too, like, it'll lift it up a little bit, so you, like, nudge it over, over a period of $40, you nudge it over to the little dropper thing.
I did take a picture of that.
If someone has spent $30 on it.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Then it might be your turn to spend only $5 on a 50-cent plushie. So anyway, that was our Labor Day, and we're getting ready for school as well.
Yeah. Should we talk about finished objects? We should mix this up a little bit because we have a little bit of a special thing that we're all going to talk about. You can see my pile in front of me here, what Amanda's wearing, and you'll see what Kathleen's doing. So why don't we talk about what we have on the needles first? Right? Unless do either of you have finished objects other than our special?
No. I only have
Okay, good. So we're going to talk about what's on the needles. Okay, I will go first because I have nothing on the needles except for this, which is my on the needles / semi-finished object. Mostly finished object. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
And Amanda's wearing hers.
And Amanda's wearing hers.
So we'll talk about that
So why don't we go with Kathleen? Kathleen, what's on your needles?
So on my needles is one of my 5 summer tops that I was making this summer, and I cast this on I think right after our last episode.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
don't think I had started it.
I don't think you had started it because I watched and I didn't.
And actually, funnily enough, I'm wearing another top, one of the other 5 by the same designer. So it is Minimi knit design. This is the pyramid tee. This is the Luminous Summer top. And it's right here, so I will grab a skein, even though it's not the same color. When we got in the Jadifra Lanamia Cotone and Cotone Effetto.
Yep.
I just thought it would make such a nice lightweight summer top.
Yeah,
totally.
You know, and I made a nice lightweight summery shawl out of this yarn last year.
Yep.
But I think partly too
like
just
the same color.
It literally the same colors. I love. Well, it's so me. It's like it's cream with like goldy brown and gray.
Yeah.
Moral.
It's a great neutral.
It is a perfect neutral, yeah. So with doing all the other summer sweaters I did this year, I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So the thing is, though, it is not the right gauge for this Luminous Summer sweater. So I am making a bigger size to make a sweater that fits me because I need to do a lot more stitches because I'm definitely under gauge. It's meant for a DK, and this really is a fingering.
Yeah.
I did kind of what we did on the Waithia.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm really knitting more to the measurements and mostly able to follow one of the other sizes. So it's a circular yoke just with like nicely placed increases.
Yeah, I can bring it up.
Okay, yeah. Let me just pull these back so it's really, because it has a tendency to want to slide off the needles.
All right, pay attention.
I got this.
Yeah.
If I had really paid more attention when I was doing the early, like that first inch, I would have made the eyelets a little bigger because this yarn is so variegated and I'm working at a smaller gauge. I feel like the eyelets really do disappear a little bit, and that really is sort of the only design in the sweater. See about 3/4 of an inch down.
Yeah.
And she has you do something fun to make the eyelets not grow too much. Not in the row immediately below, like not in the row where you kind of fix the eyelet, but the row below that, you knit through the back loop so that stitch can't get too loose. In my case, I probably should have not knit through the back loop. But by the time I realized it, I was, like 3 inches in, and I said, do I really want to rip this out just to enlarge those eyelets? I don't.
No.
So, and the increases all kind of stack below that, so it would be hard really to like drop back to change it too.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with it.
I think it looks cute though.
Yeah, thank you. It is. It's fun. I mean, I've also played around with the increases because, with this yarn being a cotton, it acts a little bit differently than a wool will with your different kind of increases. They're mostly supposed to be hidden. And I didn't like the increase that was written into the pattern, so I started with a different one. You know what? I don't know. As I'm sitting here, I may actually rip this out and start it again.
I mean, you're not that far into it.
I'm not that, though. At the same time, like when I work on this, even if I'm watching a show for like an hour, I maybe do 2 rounds. It's still at the point where it's just so many stitches.
Yeah.
Though I don't have to wear it this year. It's
like
I made a bunch of summer sweaters, so I feel like my summer sweater wardrobe is in much better shape than it was early this year.
Mine's still non-existent.
I'm really happy that I've done it. I don't know. It's like, and I've gotten so much more, like knitting plant fibers used to be like, oh, I've got to gear myself up. I'm going to be knitting plant fibers. Yeah. And now I'm just like, hey, it's plant fibers. It's summer. It's more comfortable to knit in the summer too. You don't have something wool in your hands or on your lap or anything. So. So anyway, we'll see. I don't know. I may actually, because I have played around with this so much. You know what I'll do? I'm going to put it on pearl strings and I'll try it on again and I'll see how it looks.
That's a good call.
Because
you could do with the eyelets around, you could thread a ribbon through it.
Oh yeah, that would be cute. Yeah, because let me show you the picture. It's very simple. It's and that was what I liked about this. Oh, it's a very pale. Very pale photograph.
Thread a ribbon.
Yeah, that's
stitch it down and tack it.
Yeah, I kind of like that. We'll see. Or maybe like a little square knot bow in the front or something.
Yeah,
that'd be cute. We could bring the picture up, but it's not very... Maybe we'll do a
I can do an
screenshot of
inset.
it. Yeah. Because the picture is very low contrast. Like, it's not that easy to see where the eyelets are from this printout. So anyway, well, I'll probably keep knitting for now. But
I like nice ribbons, but they're expensive. But with something like that, it would only be probably
less than
2 yards.
Oh, less than a yard.
You think less than a yard?
Oh yeah, because just to go around your shoulders.
Yeah.
Which is, and it does take a lot more to tie a nice bow than you think. But
I know.
It does. That's.
I actually have a decent ribbon stash. Of course I do.
Of course you do.
I don't.
Well, I used to make project bags, and I always like to do the ribbon on the zipper pull. So that's one of the things I have a lot.
It's a nice detail.
Yeah. So that is my main whip, and what is my other one? I have also worked a bit. Where's my bag?
We have piles.
We do have piles, and soon you will see why. I have worked a bit on my Sophie Shawl that I am making in the Knitted Wit Summer Slovin.
I love it.
So this has definitely been my, when I need to take something that I don't need to think about at all. It's it is coming along. Let me undo my my little thingy here. I've got some good length in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so this will be really nice in the fall, and I love this color. Is it French court? Does it sound
something
right?
like that?
Yeah. It's this really beautiful subtle pink, and it's got little pops of gold in it, which is one of the reasons that I love it. Yeah, this is the yarn I was originally going to use for this sweater. That's right. That's so funny. But it was kind of too light on its own, and it was too heavy with something else, and that's why I decided to make the Sophie. Nice. Sophie is such a great thing to do if you have that one special skein that you really want to use and see and show off, but you don't know what to do with it. So, I should really get back to this.
Where you want the yarn to shine.
Yeah, exactly. You really have the focus right on the yarn, so not too much on the design. So those are my whips that have been kind of working along in the background while I've worked on my big project that we'll talk about.
Nice.
All of our big projects.
Yep.
All right. Like I said, I only have this whip. Amanda, what about you?
Okay. Well, again, I have a couple of background whips. I'm working on still my shadow box sock number 1, but I finished trimming the heel. So that's progress. I think last time I had finished the heel flap or something like that. But I had another trip to the city for lunch with a friend, and so it's my train project. Basically, it sits next to me, and when I go on the train, I throw it in the bag. Yeah. So now the heel is turned. I'm on the foot. That's why I'm working on this now. This is Shadow Box by Helen Stewart. Oh my goodness. The rest of her Sock Society socks, that I think all of them are out, or maybe there's one left to go. I love them all so much, so you'll probably be seeing those as soon as I finish this pair.
Nice. Take a look at those, because I like her pattern so much.
She has some really cute ones. I actually, if I hadn't started this one with the Springtime at Yarnia colorway by La Bien-Aimée, I think it's the third one that just has a little bit of floral detail at the top and otherwise it's stockinette. I think would really show off this color beautifully. But I didn't. I already started this, so now I get to pick another sock yarn for that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. If you love Springtime at Yarnia and want to get some, you're in luck. Yay! It's been out.
Our shipment is arriving today.
Today,
the day we're taping it. Yep.
So by the time this is live, we'll probably have it.
Yeah, it should be
in inventory and available, and it's been out of stock since early summer, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And we still have the mohair.
We do have a bit of mohair, maybe a dozen skeins.
Okay,
maybe.
So if you wanted to do that Birds of a Feather that I finished with the Springtime at Yarnia, because we had a lot of people that did that kit.
Yes, definitely.
We'll have the yarn available for that as well. Yay.
Excellent.
Because it takes 2 skeins of, I think it's 2 skeins of the sock and 1 of the mohair.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is why I have extra. This is the leftover sock, which is enough to do 2 socks. I can do 2 socks. But not like a ton left. I'd say 70 grams left.
Yeah, that's still
which is enough for me to do a pair of socks.
Average woman's sock.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, bigger feet.
This is my background project, sort of, like I said, hanging out. I don't know if I'll finish this by next time. You might not see this next time if there's no, like, material progress. You're seeing it now because it's my while we're podcasting project.
Mm-hmm. It's like a knit night podcast project.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to switch over to my Sophie being my working podcast.
Sophie's a good...
Well, my knit night project was what I'm wearing.
That's right.
Yeah.
I use knit nights for, like, some tedious things sometimes.
I feel like a lot of stock in it.
A lot of, or no, like, where I've got to, like, when I'm doing multiple...
ends?
Ends, or the multiple color works, which I'll get to as well. The other thing I've been working on is continuing my row a day on Catherine's baby blanket.
Look how it's coming along.
Which is now, it was a square last time. Now it is still a square, and it will stay a square.
It's a bigger square.
It's a bigger square, yeah. So there's an additional 14-ish rows on here.
Nice.
A whole round of puff stitches. And the last row we did, you can see it's got like these little bumps on it, which is why I'm not working on it. It's not simple to crochet anymore. Because now there's going to be some little lacy, ruffly bits that are coming off each of these little bumps.
Ruffly bits.
Yeah, so the last round involved a lot of counting and a little bit of fudging because there's not the same number of stitches on every side.
Oh. I mean...
Close, but... I'd get to the end and I'd be like 4 stitches short, so I have to like rip back the whole row and redistribute those 4 stitches, you know, like do some crochet increases and to make each side closer to the same.
That's
like,
like, you know.
But that's the price of not actually counting your stitches.
Right, if you don't count.
On the easy rows. Yeah.
And honestly, counting is hard.
Well, yeah, and I don't like, especially when it's like, because now I'm a little bit over 100 stitches on each side.
Oof.
So.
Takes too long.
Yeah.
Well, and also, if anyone interrupts you, you get off track.
Right.
It's like, it's so, and then do you really want to go back and recount them? And...
So I basically wait until I'm on a row like this, right where I have to insert 5 of these. Yeah, so that's why I wait. Oh, what the heck did I do?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
I did something
Did you do a
silly.
double?
I did like
double
poopy.
Doubles instead of singles. Uh-oh.
Oh, that sounds like something I would do.
I
always default to half double crochet.
Is it on the front?
It's on the first. I did the V-stitch section twice on this row.
Oh. You know what,
That's
though? It's all
annoying.
white. No one's going to see it.
Can you recover from it by just ignoring it?
I probably would.
I don't know.
Let's see.
It's like materially wider than the other.
Oh, okay, that way.
It's supposed to have 2 V's, and
Yep.
I did 2 V's and then 2 V's.
And it's the first. It's the first side.
Yes. I really don't
that's
want
annoying.
to rip it out again.
Don't rip it out.
I probably won't rip it out. I don't know. I feel like this row.
I wouldn't rip it out.
What it depends on what's above it too. Like, is it kind of?
Oh yeah, that's a good
disappear
point
little
because,
bit?
especially in this very kind of textural crochet, you could get away with.
What's I doing? What was I?
Someone interrupted you. You did it twice.
Right,
Basically.
counting.
Almost definitely.
But this is actually I might not change it because that was the long row, and by having this in, right, it'll take it in a little bit.
All right.
I think I might not.
So don't.
That was the long side. We were supposed to have like 13 stitches between each, and this one I have like 14 between each with 15 on each side. So I might just leave that in there to take, you know, to sort of naturally decrease that rough
zhuzh it up a little.
smidge. This is that's terrible. This is and I've already put it down below, but it is Baby Ardith by Hooked on Sunshine. The original pattern is in like 20 colors, and I'm obviously doing it in a single color, so it's nice and textural. But her pattern does have a stitch count at the end of every single row, like how many single crochets, how many double crochets, how many V stitches. So it is a very good. It's very easy to like actually count your stitches.
So if you were inclined to count, you would be able to easily check it. But counting's hard. People interrupt you. I mean,
what I was doing when I was crocheting that I would have made such a huge mistake. I don't know, whatever.
I don't think it's that huge.
I feel like sometimes too, with the flow of crochet, it's almost like the hook does its own thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whatever. I probably will feel, like I said, I sort of need to take that side in anyway, but it's progressing.
And you know, since it's the first side, maybe work that next row and see if it does kind of hide.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
And if after you do the next row, if you feel like it looks too obvious, it's only a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not so far in that you're like, oh, wait.
No, definitely. Yeah. And yeah, it's fine.
I have one other thing, and all of a sudden I have a frog in my throat. Excuse me.
What happens when you crochet on the beach, I guess.
Yeah.
Could be. With the Luminous Summer, since I do have that really long row, and you know, I have a beginning of round marker, because sometimes when the stitches feel interminable, I just throw on markers like every quarter of the thing, just so that when you hit that mark, you're like, okay, yes, I'm making progress.
I have accomplished
I'm a quarter.
thing.
I'm halfway. I'm 3/4.
Yes.
And also, if you are doing something where, you know, your numbers you need to line up,
Yes.
you find out a lot sooner than getting to the end of the row that they are lining up.
Well, that is honestly what I should have done with this. So if I rip it out, what I will do is, like I said, I got to the end of the first row and I had a lot of extra stitches, which I had to redistribute. I already ripped it out. I already ripped it out and redistributed. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I would come straight up and make sure that this middle one, I put a stitch marker in on the center here. And make sure that then these are like divided into thirds, basically.
Yeah.
So it is a good row to fix any wonkiness on. I just wonkified the fixing wonkiness row.
I mean,
it happens. It happens. What can you say?
Whatever. It'll be okay.
All right.
It'll look good.
Yeah. So that's my two whips, which aren't new whips. They're in progress whips. Next time, I will have completed color work on Autumn Court because it must be done before I go to France.
That's right. That's right.
It must be complete.
Yeah.
Okay, so deadline knitting.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Not. Yes.
Yes.
That which has been interrupted by other deadline knitting.
I mean, this is the thing. There's no easier way to get something done than sheer panic.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my experience, which I'm trying to steer my children out of. But who am I kidding? They come by it honestly. Procrastination and then just sheer panic and pulling in not necessarily an all-nighter, but like a, you know, use hyper-focus to your advantage.
Yeah. I just, I'm gonna have to. I do that a little bit, but I'm more gonna need to plan.
You're a planner.
I'm a planner. I'm gonna need to see how many rows I have left and plan out every day my daily row goal and do it.
Whereas I would ignore it for 5 days, panic, and do it all the night before. Not saying it's a good solution.
And I would be somewhere in between.
I would be like, I'm gonna plan it.
Well, or no, I would plan it. I would follow the plan for about 3 days. Then I would get distracted by something else, and then the night before I'd finish.
Yeah. Scams.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sounds like good.
So I really should. I'll put a note in here. How many days left I have? I think I'm on this blanket. I think I'm on almost to row 50, and there's like 90 rows.
Ooh.
And obviously you're not taking that to France.
I'm not taking
That's
that to
staying
France.
here.
No.
I could, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just taking the sweater.
That's good. Then you'll have
Although we'll see how full my bag is once I'm taking the big suitcase. So we'll see. Because I only have to take white.
Yeah.
That is true. You don't have to deal with
Yeah.
any additional colors or anything like that. Oh, sorry, my needles are dangling, and making little chimey noises. So, do you have any other
I do not have any other whips.
All right, so
with me, I have a lot of other whips, y'all.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I believe we all have a lot of other whips.
Oh yes.
Some from several years ago, in my case.
Yes, me too.
But we should talk about what we are working on / wearing / finished.
Please let's talk about what
with, because Amanda is going to melt on this hottest day of the year.
And I'll go ahead and put mine on.
super psyched to be a new stockist for Knit Collage, which is a super awesome woman-owned yarn brand that is basically all of these are art yarns that are spun and created in Punjab, India by a team of 13 women who hand spin.
It's only 13 women?
Only 13 women. And they do everything. Like they create I was just researching this for the newsletter and whatnot. They create the embellishments. They spin in like the lace. They create like the little green crochet flowers in here. They make those.
Wow.
They spin them into the fiber. They hand card the fiber. So some of them, I mean, this is obviously a solid color, but some of them are like a melange.
Yeah.
Like they spin in all
sweet papaya.
the sweet papaya. They spin in all of the little like biddly bobs and add-ons and whatnot.
And the stellina.
And they dye it as well. So
wow.
And it's just 13 women.
That was
and
amazing.
Amy, the owner of Knit Collage, works really closely with them, and they have these gorgeous yarns that are super bulky for the most part, so they go really quick.
Yes.
So we have all basically made our own samples in, I would say, under 2 weeks.
Yes.
I started this 8 days ago.
8 days ago for you. So yeah. I did mine.
I cast on right after our last podcast, so 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I cast on about halfway through my Cape trip, so yeah, like a week and a half for me. And I would have been done had I not taken the wrong amount of yarn with me. So I had to wait until I got back. But I'm almost done now.
Yeah.
So we are now carrying Knit Collage, and we're going to be launching it with like a little launch event tomorrow.
Yes, on Sunday, September 10th.
September 10th. So we announced this in our newsletter last week, but also announcing it today. And what we're going to do is we're going to have kind of one of each of the yarns that we have, one in all the colorways out in a big pile, organized pile. And you guys can mix and match and play with colors and play with the textures, and see what you want. And then we bring a slip to the register and we'll fill your order right there.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, I mean, this is Spun Cloud, and this is a 200-gram skein, which is fantastic. I used 3 and change for this sweater. A smaller size would use 3, no problem. And with the contrasting colors and it's gonna be so fun.
It's so fun. I'm thinking I want to make one of those too.
Yeah. So I made the Plaid Party.
That's
Cardi.
it.
By Laurel Gervitz, I believe. So this is the back of it. I just wanted to show.
Oh, let me take it up.
You take it up. I'm working on the last I-cord. So that is done in Spun Cloud, which is the thick, thin plaid with Angelina sparkly yarn. That's the solid gray. And then mini skein sets in Pop Tart, which features... That's the Spun Cloud. And it's a slip stitch pattern. A lot of purling, but worked flat. And with set-in sleeves. And yeah. So this is basically going to be like Chanel-y style jacket. And then I got to figure out which buttons to do, the mother of pearl or the glitter catrinkles.
I think I would do the mother of pearl. I think the lighter would look nice with that.
I think you have to finish your buttonholes and see what fits. Because those are different sizes.
They are different sizes.
They're not that different though.
They would
one
stretch. One might work better than the other.
This one might work better because it's a little bit bigger.
Check out these like little... This is what Jen's talking about, the embellishments that are incorporated into the yarn. Where's the green?
Green flowers on the back. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
it's like so bright it's blowing out. Can't.
Mm-hmm.
Green flower is just like you knit it and they appear.
It's so fun and it's so addictive. Like I did like a huge chunk of the body of this in like an evening.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when you sent us the picture of where you were, we were both like, "What?"
I know.
I'm
Like,
like,
we're
"Man,
both
just
like,
keep going. We gotta get moving."
It's like pressure.
You also swatched, right? Before
I
you
did
started.
swatch. I always
Did I bring my
swatch.
swatch?
I
did not bring my
swatched and then I
swatch.
promptly ripped the swatch out because I knew I was going to be like how tight was I going to be on yarn? But I swatched also, and one of the reasons I swatched was to figure out my stripe placement.
Yeah.
And then I also, because I'm crazy,
Did you use
matched the plaids on the sleeves because the sleeves
Nice.
worked going
Nice.
down. So it took a little bit of like,
Yeah.
I had to figure out
Finagling
which
and breaking
stripe
and
was
stuff.
going where in order to make sure.
So is this a different color than the sample?
This is a different color than the
Did you find a
sample.
drop stitch?
I don't know if it's a drop stitch or if it could very well.
Mm.
It could be a drop stitch or it could be I didn't weave in my end well. I think it's a drop stitch, but that's okay.
You want a stitch marker?
No, I'm just gonna pull it up now because this is.
You could use
chunky
finger
yarn.
knitting with it.
And I know it's one of the slip stitches, so it's not a problem. I think it is both and
We find out so much during
find
the podcast.
out so much during the podcast.
What have we done?
What did we do? I'm pretty
It's
sure.
vacation knitting.
I
Yours,
know. I
mine.
wove an end in last night that I was like, oh, I didn't think I left that long of an end. And turns out
It was your working yarn?
it was probably an end that should not have been woven in and
Mm.
should have, in fact, been a stitch.
Oops.
But anyway, but why don't you guys talk about what you're
Yeah, why don't you talk about yours, Nina?
Yeah, so I knit the Durango pullover, which is a top-down sort of circular yoke pullover sweater. And it has fun stripes on the sleeves.
Yeah, so fun.
Ooh.
The stripes do not match. That's actually written in the pattern like the order. The pattern has you in the sleeves like here. And I was like, I don't want, it's sort of a crappie sweater.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want a crappie sweater and crappie sleeves, so I just made like
Mhm.
9 more stripes. So now I have a full length sleeve and a crop sweater. But let me show you. The Durango pullover has, so it's raglan. We've got raglan increases here. Oh, yeah, I said it's round yoke. I lied. It's raglan. So you've got raglan increases here and here. You can see there's like texture patterns. So there's a little cables. There's a little bit of color work. But the key to this one is that since you've got the sleeves going on, with the raglans, you have to do the top flat with intarsia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tricksy.
Yeah, so every row, this is a very, very detailed and well-written pattern.
Is yours by Laurel Gervitz as well? Do you remember?
Yes,
don't
it
know.
is.
It is.
'Cause I
Okay,
checked,
and this one is as well.
Yeah, she writes
Yeah.
a nice pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was so thoroughly detailed. It was really impressive.
and wide size ranges.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
This is the 3rd size on me, and for anybody who's like, what size are you? I'm 5'6" with a 36-inch bust and 41-inch full bust. So there you go. That's how you can tell measurement-wise. And I made the 3rd size, which I should check my gauge now. I did
No.
not, because I did not want to swatch intarsia. I could have swatched just the stockinette just to check.
just to get a
Yeah,
feel.
just to see.
my
Did you
gauge.
use 17s?
I did, because
Which
that was
are
the biggest
what's-
size needle I had as well.
But it's probably
So-
what's recommended, right?
Yes, it
and
was.
you're usually pretty on gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go get another needle.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
going to use the needles I have with the yarn I had.
Do it.
So why bother swatching if you're
Mhm.
just going to not follow your swatch? If you're not going to use the information in your swatch.
Do you have a tapestry needle handy by now?
I do.
Ah, awesome.
So I will say, like, it was
in one of these.
It's been a long time since I did Intarsia. Which is not a hard technique.
We even had a class in it.
We did
a couple actually.
Several classes.
Yeah. It is by Erica, one of our new instructors.
Great to know how to do it. Very useful. But I
did use this. You really got to squeeze it.
Oh, that's fine.
It requires a lot of yarn ball management.
Yeah.
Especially with such a heavy yarn, and also you have multiple balls going at the same time because the brownish gray on the front has to be a separate ball from the brownish gray on the back because they're different parts of the intarsia, right? Like if I had a red stripe here, I have to have a separate ball of a red stripe here. Actually the first step in this pattern is she tells you for your main color 1, wind off a separate ball that's X grams, by size, like what your second ball needs to be, so that you have enough on your second ball to do the front portion, or the back portion of the color work. And it's so much thought went into that.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot. You can't travel with that. You can't take it anywhere because you've got 4 balls of yarn going for every row. So I had to literally sit on my floor. I couldn't even sit on my couch. I had to sit on my floor with like balls of yarn until I finished this.
In like a little circle.
Yes. Yeah, it was all my balls of yarn people.
Luckily with a chunky yarn,
that
goes quick.
Yes. But I was finding I could only do like 3 rows a day just because it took so long to do each row with the intarsia and like the different pattern things, going on. Like you had to pay attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
And then increases on the raglans with the intarsia. So
it's not a beginner pattern.
It was not a beginner pattern. And I was honestly sort of frustrated with it by the time I got to the end of the yoke. And then you read in the pattern, pat yourself on the back. The hard part is done. You did it. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel right now. Thank you for validating my feelings.
You're like, I will pat myself on the back. Thank you.
I needed that validation so much, and I really appreciate her putting it in the pattern.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was on Knit Night last Wednesday when I read that, and I was like,
oh my goodness.
You're like, look what they actually wrote in the pattern.
Well.
So then I took this, the body was super fast because there's 3 rows of color work, actually 2 rows of color work, and then just straight stockinette. That's it. So the body I finished, like I said, the yoke on Wednesday. I attached it and did this little color work bit on Thursday. Friday did the rest of the body and started the sleeve. Saturday I finished the sleeve, started the other one. Sunday I finished the sleeve. Is that right? Nope. I finished the sleeve yesterday.
Was Monday. Yeah.
Yesterday was Monday. I finished the sleeve till like here. And then did that yesterday. And then also in Tarja, there's a million ends to weave in.
Yeah.
So that's what I did last night for like 2 hours, was weaving ends.
Yeah. I had a lot of ends too, but I ended up weaving most of my ends in as I went. Every time I did a section, I was like, time to weave in the ends, because I was like, this is going to, and in some cases, as you can tell by this drop stitch that I just fixed, I did not weave them in well.
One of the things I noticed in the pattern is that she says, leave a 5-inch tail for weaving in, which is really helpful, and honestly, I think you could even do 6. Because partly it depends on the thickness of the yarn. Like, I do have one end. It's funny, earlier it kept popping out. Like, every time I tried this on, there was one end sticking out, that I still do need to weave in. But, if the yarn is really, really fat, it doesn't go as far. No. So that is one tip I would say for working with this. If you've got a section where, especially with the spun cloud, where it's very bulky, leave it even a little bit longer. It's just going to make it easier and less likely to pop out eventually.
And do you know what I did on my ends as well?
What?
After I cut the ends,
you fluff them a little?
I fluffed them, licked it, and fluffed it in a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it actually, like, spit spliced that end into the...
Yeah. I tried to spit splice in my body, because, after a certain point, and, whatever. You finish, and then I'll
well, I was going to say, I didn't, like... Sorry. I didn't do that to connect the yarns in the middle of it, but just on those ends to like rough them up and keep them from slipping out.
Yes,
that's enough kind of tension to keep that end.
Yeah, that
stuck
does
in.
make sense. Yeah.
I started doing on the Spun Cloud, the gray of mine, to join in the ends, I did Russian joins.
Mm-hmm.
Or a faux Russian join. What I did was, Russian join is kind of, if you think of like interlocking elbows, right? Like one elbow goes this way, one elbow goes this way. I took like an overlap of, the two ends of Spun Cloud, right? I threaded it on a tapestry needle, and then I wove one end like 5 inches in to the other end, and then overlapped it, and I did a little spit splice. So it's not, it held a little bit stronger.
That makes a lot of sense to me, yeah.
And then it's not superwash wool.
Right.
So it will felt together. But especially, like, I also did that where I had to join in the fabric yarn. Was it Wildflower?
Yeah.
Which is strips of like Indian cotton voile. And I literally, it's easily pierced with a needle. So I did that same thing where I just kind of wove it in like that. To pierce through.
That makes so much sense. Yeah.
That worked well. But I didn't start doing that until like the end. Which is why the slip stitch, and that's actually what I just did with that slip stitch that came undone, which now I don't know which one it was. I think it was this one.
Good.
So it worked really well.
It worked really well. And I may have done it in the wrong color, but it's under the arm. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't do it in the wrong color. Anyway. Sorry, easily distracted. So it just kind of like I wove one tail into the bulk of the yarn to hold it together, and then really just kind of like pierced the yarn several times on the backside, and that definitely helps. And then I think when this I haven't steamed or blocked this.
I haven't blocked mine either, except I'm steaming it right now.
You're just sweating in it, and that's a form of blocking, folks.
I steamed mine before I did my edging yesterday. Like I did it, and I did almost all of this in the car. Honestly, this was like a lot of car knitting because I've been, we drove up to Massachusetts, and then going back and forth from our hotel to Haley's apartment and stuff. I'd do a row or two then, and but mine was really rolling a lot, and I just steamed the edges before I did that edging, and it needs to be steamed again. But one reason actually I didn't, it's funny, I did block my swatch just to see if it would change.
Yeah.
If you've watched this for a long time, I say it every time, I'm a very loose knitter, and this is supposed to be done on 17s. That is what they recommend for Spun Cloud. And I said, if I do this on 17s, it is just going to be so loose and open. So I tried 15s, and I got gauge. I was almost a little tight, and I figured, I'd rather do that than have it be too loose. It should loosen up when I actually block it. It was a little rainy the day I washed my swatch. It took 3 days to dry. It really, and I remember when one of our customers in our intermediate class had made this cardi. This is the Pixelated Cardi, also by Laurel Gervitz. When she made it with the Spun Cloud, she said, that stuff is taking forever to dry. So that's just something to be aware of. I even wound up hanging my swatch when it was mostly dry to let it finish. You can't really do that with a sweater. I guess I would hang it on one of those. I have like a multi-level rack that's all netting. So that's probably the way I'll have to dry this when I do. If I ever, I'm going to need to wash it at some point. I don't know if I'll truly wet block it. But
I might, with all the fluff and things.
Maybe dry clean it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I probably would. I dry clean a lot of my single plies.
Mm-hmm. Just so it doesn't abrade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
But
so I should,
I got a tip during knit night.
Yes.
From one of our knit night attendees. Hi, Melanie. I got to come up close.
Yes.
So you can see this. So in some of these yarns, there are pops of like sparkle floof. Like it's Stellina.
Sparkle floof.
Yeah,
but I guess it's like ginormous chunks.
Yes. There's some of it on the floor of my car in the passenger seat.
Oh,
sometimes when there's a ton.
Look at this one. Look at that.
Sparkle floof.
Look at that.
Sparkle floof.
Yeah, that is sparkle floof for sure.
Right? Like, it's almost an entirely silver stitch. So I think I was up here somewhere, and I had just left, I think it was right here, I had left my 5-inch tail on the skein before, on the row before, whatever, and I said, oh, I love that orange bit. I wish it had shown up in the yarn that I was actually going to knit with and not where I was weaving it in.
Mm-hmm.
And Melanie said, just pull it off that part and weave it, rub it into the next row, and then the part that you want to show up will show up, and it doesn't have to be in your woven it ends. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you for saying that.
So smart.
Yeah. So now you can sort of rearrange and play with the placement of your sparkle floof.
Yeah, totally. I just love Sparkle Floof. I feel like that's a good band name. Sparkle Floof.
Yeah, really. Josie and the Pussycats.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah. So
I love it.
It was fun to come across those bits because you sort of see them coming in the ball.
And you're like, yes. This is coming up for me next.
I know. I love that. I love this, because this one is peachy.
Yeah.
It has
but
silver.
you have peachy and silver together.
Yeah.
There's some
These
peachy
yarns are
flute.
so fun.
Is there peachy?
Yeah, see, like that.
Uh-huh.
Orangey peachy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, this one I used High Vibes for the main color. I'll also put in a picture of for all of these, I'll have put in pictures of the original samples, which were done in the colors that I guess the designer originally conceived them in.
Mm-hmm.
And did we all change the colors? We all sort of
Well,
changed the
I
colors.
changed my yarn. Yeah.
You changed your yarn.
And I'll finish this row and then I'll talk about mine.
Yeah, so this is High Vibes. This was somebody's gonna have Persian Red or something. Ruby.
Moroccan Ruby.
Moroccan Ruby.
I don't know why it's stuck on.
This was, and then there was a full skein of this in the white that I used on the edging. And then a mini set, the Dusty Rose mini set. So
Where the wildflowers, right?
Yep, the wildflower. There's this pink, mauvey pink color was in that mini set. The sparkle floof skeins were in there. Yeah, that pink.
It's
And
so
this
cute.
multicolored thick and thin
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
was in there. So
It's like a daisy chain.
yeah,
Love it. Love
That's-
it. So we should, Kathleen should talk about hers, and then we should share some of the
Yes.
Yes,
we can
exactly.
show you what they look like.
So my sweater is the Pixelated Cardi, also by Laurel Gervitz. I made a couple of changes. It is not supposed to have any color work on the sleeves, but I just thought that would be really fun.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's so
awesome.
cute.
And they are. It's funny. I feel like they have gotten shorter as I've worn this today. It is meant to be like a bracelet length sleeve, and
Yeah.
I love that length of sleeve.
yeah. And you know what? It's like this is going to be super warm. One of the other changes that I made is that I loved the daisy chain yarn. I mean, I like the wildflower yarn as well, but I love the daisy chain yarn, which is, like Amanda was saying, it has the sparkle floof, it has multiple colors, and it has daisies. So, I can give you a picture of my swatch, or we can just take a picture of this up close. But because this is wool versus the wildflower, which is cotton, that is going to make this a lot warmer too.
Yeah.
So I figured I would definitely go with the shorter sleeves. But between the daisies and all of that and the color, this color is sweet papaya.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw that, I had to use it.
Yeah.
It was just like
It was
This has
calling
my name
your name.
written all over it. I did make notes about how I did this color work. I basically used some of the rows from the color work on the yoke.
Yep.
Here, so I just wrote it down. Number one, I wrote it down so that I could make both sleeves match.
Yes.
And then number two, if anybody else wants to do it, there's I can tell you what I did. So so I really pretty much did this to pattern. I made I didn't bring my pattern with me today.
Did you do yours exactly to pattern?
I did mine almost exactly to pattern. Kathleen, you talk about yours, and then I'll tell you what I changed on mine.
I wish I had brought my pattern with me because I don't remember. I did, I think I did the 6th size. And like I was saying earlier, I did swatch, and I got really close to gauge on my 15s. Though, interestingly, the yarn is so chunky that even as a super loose knitter, it was a little tight.
Yeah.
And it felt a little tight to work. If I hadn't been working this on a deadline, I might have played around and tried it on the 17s. Like, I might have actually been okay with it, but since it really was on deadline and it took 3 days for the swatch to dry, I was like, all right, we're going with this, guys. But yeah, basically you do your color work yoke. At the beginning, I felt like the neckband looked a little short. It looked much shorter than it was in the picture. And that's because you come around to the end and you crochet a single crochet edging all the way around. And interestingly, on the sleeves, you crochet it from the right side. And then on the body, you crochet it from the wrong side. And because I always have to try all the options for things, I did try crocheting it from the right side also on the body. One of the reasons she tells you to do it the way she does, as we said, they're very thoughtfully written patterns, is because it helps it not roll so much.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Like, I guess the sleeves, you almost want them to, like, very slightly flare out, though these two are not acting the same. This, I may come back and add a couple more rows of the sweet papaya on this sleeve. And Jen, you found this too, right? That, because the yarn is so thick and thin, depending on the part that you're hitting, you may want to go a little further. Yeah, you can see these last few rows.
Yeah,
there's no really big yarn. Here, there's a lot of giant stitches.
Yeah.
So, but basically, if I add like 2 more rows of the sweet papaya here, or if it's a really thick row, 1 row, they're going to match even better. So. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get with a really super handcrafted yarn. You're going to have to look at it and make some judgments about, what you do.
The beauty is really in the variation. Like,
for sure.
This is not machine spun. This is all touched by hand. And I found also for, like, my sleeves, I wasn't sure. I was doing this at the Cape. I had 3 skeins of the gray. The pattern for my size called for 4. It needed 4. I did the 6th size. And I was like, maybe I can eke it out with 3. So I'm like, I'll just cut the sleeves a little bit shorter. And then I was like, yeah. So I might take out the edging I did on my sleeves and do like another round of the pattern.
Or whatever.
Yeah, another repeat. And it'll be fine. I also adjusted my sleeves, and so on the Cardi, it had ribbing edging the sleeves, and I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to have more of a jacket feel and less of a sweater feel, because honestly, I'm going to be wearing this more as a jacket.
Absolutely, this is a jacket, and I am melting a little bit now.
Yes, and like
even
honestly,
I'm melting a little.
It's 95 degrees here. This is for fall and for winter.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a ribbed edge at the neck, I picked up stitches and then I did an I-cord bind off. And I did the same thing on my sleeves. I did the decrease round almost as written in pattern. As written in pattern, it gives you a 1x1 rib, which you go into the rib. So I just did it all in knit, essentially. And then did an I-cord bind off around. And then I'm doing the I-cord edgings. Which is written in the pattern. You have an option for an I-cord edge. You have an option for a ribbed edge. She also gives you an option to pick up and do a ribbed edge on the bottom if you want extra length. But the rest of it I did as per pattern.
Yeah, and
both
actually
length and depth and everything.
I definitely made mine longer. I think it says 8.5 inches, which I don't know.
It's cropped.
It's really cropped. That's way too cropped for me. I think I did mine 11 inches.
Yeah.
So, and even with that, I almost got away with 3 skeins of the main color. I could tell, though, I knew I still had to do all of the crocheting around the edges and everything. Like, I could have ripped out my swatch, but I was like 99% sure that even if I had, I would still need to break into the 4th skein. Yeah. So I just left the swatch as it is, which also we can always leave that in the store. Like, even if it's a day I'm wearing this. So these are going to live in the store for a while. They are going to be store samples that we eventually wear ourselves.
Check them out.
And did I say that I added stripes?
You said, you added a link to the sleeves.
It would be, I've thought about like all the modifications you teach people how to do in your sweater classes on like shapes of your raglans and I think the way this is written with like the intarsia and the incredible amount of thought that went into where each increase was, because it's not just every other row. I was thinking, and we talked about this on Knit Night, that like, there's no way I would modify this yoke at all.
Uh-huh.
No.
At
Yeah,
all.
she's clearly
This
really
is
thought all of it
Definitely,
through.
Yeah.
this one is definitely a follow the directions. It's like baking.
Yes, some
Mhm.
some
Get your
patterns
instructions
are very
followed.
definitely follow the directions, and I will say like this pattern was also extremely well written. It's a little bit complicated because it's a set-in sleeve, top-down short rows, but they're very thoughtfully done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where I'm like, I do not need to adjust this pattern in any way, shape, or form, except for sleeve length, body length, right?
Right.
The things
Which
that,
those are the absolute simplest, you know.
and
yes.
those are such individual things.
And also, this pattern may even say it. If you want it longer, work
Yes.
for your length. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not, it's,
yeah.
you know, yeah, I hate patterns that kind of assume that everyone is going to make it that length. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, because some people need that little nudge. It's like, yeah, you can change the length. you
Yeah.
know?
But these, and this pattern also had definite things like if you want to modify it, blah blah blah, and also you might need more yarn, you might need less yarn.
Yes,
blah, blah, blah,
exactly.
Based
exactly.
on
Always.
based
yeah.
on your modifications, and I also appreciate because this was a slip stitch pattern. Like she gives you two options for doing the sleeve. They end up with the same result. One option is literal row by row instructions, and you know, and repeat this until it's as long as you want. And the other one is, now that you've got the pattern, repeat the pattern until it's as long as you want.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, this pattern is 22 pages, but it is so thoughtfully written
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and so well done that like it is a combination of a hand holding pattern, which sometimes you want,
yeah.
and a you can do this
Mm-hmm.
pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah.
it's a really good, really well. I was very impressed. I'm
Mhm.
very impressed. with
I
that.
was as well. I definitely, that was one of the things I wanted to remember
Yeah.
to talk about, that, you know, I just felt like the pattern was so well done. And, you know, and one of the things actually we're going to be doing is a knit along.
That's right.
So these are 3 patterns that we have done that were, you know, done for Knit Collage. There definitely will be other choices as
Yes.
well.
We have a bundle in our Ravelry for those who can use Ravelry, and it is called Knit Collage.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking. But let's show the yarns that we have,
Yes.
because we talked a little bit, and you've seen like what they look like knit up. But
Yeah, let's show them.
what do we want to start with?
Well, why don't we start with the Spun Cloud? I feel
Yes,
like
the
that's
Spun
kind of
Cloud
like,
is great.
everything,
that's the kind of
everything
everything-
we did works with Spun Cloud,
Yes,
or
and
starts with Spun Cloud.
It builds
White
on that.
Kathleen's
Yes.
Oh, I love
sweater is Spun Cloud. The gray on Jen's
Mhm,
sweater is
mhm.
Spun Cloud. The
This one,
taupe, the red,
Such a
and the
pretty
white on mine are all Spun Clouds.
yeah, this is Honeysuckle, which I have
Yeah.
to use in my next project.
This was the original contrast color for this sweater that you saw
mhm,
earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
this one
Those look
is
so good together.
they do look really good
yeah,
together.
very very LBA inspired.
Oh, that's true,
The pink
yeah.
and the gold. This one is ink.
Ooh,
This
that
one is really
so
fun,
pretty. I
too.
love that ink.
This is orange sherbet. Yep, there were. There's a really wide range of colors in this, and we have amazing quantities of some of these. We really,
Yes.
we kind of went a little wild. We were like, if we're gonna carry this, we're really gonna
We're
carry
gonna go
it.
in.
We
We're
wanna-
gonna go all in.
Yes,
Ah.
this is Fog Heather.
That's what I did.
That's
Mine.
Jen's,
That's my
yep.
main color. It's a great gray, very wearable.
Yep. And is yours Fog Heather as well, Amanda? Did you
No,
say
mine
that?
is not.
Okay, we have the other one. Yep. This is Black Onyx, which sometimes you need a little pop of black.
Right.
Of
I
course.
was
This
looking
would
at
look
that.
amazing.
Yes, there is a sample, or not a sample, a project in Ravelry where someone did this with this Pop-Tart colorway of the contrast in the
with
black.
the Black Onyx. That must be amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Blew my mind.
All right, I'm running out of hands.
All right,
We're gonna
I'm
lean,
getting
we're
there.
gonna
We're
lean.
lean, and then I'm 5 stitches from the end of my I-cord.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna put your water on the floor
Yes,
so I
please
don't
do.
knock it over.
Almost
Then
there.
we have got here. We'll do the other bright. This
Ooh, I
one
love
is
that.
Highlighter.
highlighter. Yep. So pretty. Oh, this must be your.
That's mine.
Your
That's your
neutral
taupey.
high vibes. Yep.
Vibes,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful taupe.
It's funny in the scan. I can see it much more as taupey than like.
Yeah.
And partly it's the lighting in here right now. We don't have lights on, so
Also, I feel like
comes-
your color contrast makes such a good, like it reflects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the original one was in white, and I didn't want that start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lavender dust,
Lavender
which is
dust.
another beautiful.
So
I
pretty.
strongly considered that for my base too. I'm sure y'all are
Yeah.
shocked.
So
Shocked.
2,
shocked.
4, 6, 8, 10, I think we have 12, don't we?
Because we have the Moroccan ruby,
Right,
which is the red in my sweater, but it's not in the box, and it's also not photographed on the website yet. I can work on that.
So should we?
That came later because I actually picked my colors, and then I was like,
I need a pop.
I need a pop dress.
Why don't we lean these down so then we have hands for the next bunch?
Yes.
But yeah. So and also the what is this one called? The white again?
Oh yeah, we have that as well.
White.
Forget. No,
So we have white
it's got a name.
It's
something. Is it cloud or is it?
It might be cloud.
I don't know. Anyway, this was out of stock when we placed our order, and we knew that clearly that was going to be. It's if you look through the projects on Ravelry, a lot of people use white for at least part of it.
Of course.
So when that came back in stock, we got a lot.
Yes, a lot of the white, and we have the ruby, so you can see that. The ruby here. That's my contrast, and
All right, so let's do daisy chain next, which it's used.
I don't have
within...
scissors. I should have scissors.
I'm sorry, I put mine back here.
No, that's okay. I just realized. Wait,
I do.
Can I rip it?
Here, I have scissors right here.
Scissors
I should have just left my little thing out.
No,
There you go.
Thank you.
You got it.
Because I'm done.
Yay!
With that side or totally?
Totally.
Ah.
I mean, if I adjust the sleeves, I'm not done with that. But
yeah, I got to adjust my sleeve too, but
but
done enough that it's wearable.
I have done the edgings, people. It goes quick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, I feel like these I've got to walk up and show because each one has like very
the texture and the
color.
All right,
you want to scoot around to the front and then we'll just put them back on top of here? So this one is full fuchsia.
Yeah, and you can see for like this daisy chain, you have not only the daisy pops, but you also have like some fabric in there, lace, right, and sparkle floof.
Sparkle floof.
Yeah.
There's also, I think, some recycled silk sari.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, there are
fibers.
bits. Grand prismatic.
I love this color.
I do too. I'm
too.
thinking I might need to use that in my next one. And I'm going to try to make them like color-wise fade into each other nicely.
Lace.
Ooh, pretty.
And other yarns too. Like this one has the pink, hot pink yarn.
That has the hot pink yarn.
Cosmos purple.
Yeah. Cosmos purple.
Yeah.
There's the little daisies, as well as, oh, look at that. There's purple fiber for the daisies. And
this one has got a lot of.
It's got a lot of it's like
a lot of sparkle floof, sea glass, right? Sea siren. Excuse me.
Sea siren.
And one thing I noticed, the daisies are tied on with, it's like a thread that's almost a yarn, and that becomes part of your contrast color as well.
Yes.
Here's
Which is fun. I mean, they're picked so beautifully.
So
they really
thoughtfully.
complement.
And the nice thing about
Frosty Azure.
The nice one about the daisy chain yarn is that even if the daisies pop through to the back of your work, you can literally just take your fingers and pop them through to the front.
This one has like hollow floof.
Oh, it does have like hollow floof. It's like
twist?
mermaidy.
Yeah. Dim twist. This looks great with that. With this honeysuckle. That would be a nice low contrast baby. Yeah.
Sweet papaya, my fave.
And that's in mine as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have that. I don't know what daisy chain I have in mine. It's somewhere. It's
the whitish one, I think.
maybe.
Natural Aura.
I think that's the one that you had.
That must be it.
This is the one. Yes, because I recognize the lime green ties on my little daisies. Oh, and look at this one. It has like literal. What do you call that stuff that you put on trees? Garland.
Garland.
It like has garland in it. Huh. There's more garland.
Okay.
Finally, peony pink.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Pops of yellow.
Look, yeah, peony pink has yellow lace in it, as well as like this pink fabric. Ta-da! the camera doesn't know what to focus on. It's like,
it's too much. And then the wildflower yarn is strips of woven cotton printed, and that is what the Pixelated is shown in.
original.
Yeah, the original.
Original
And actually, I bet this is the color. It is so funny because I virtually never do a project that looks like the pattern picture.
Yeah.
Mine does, but it uses a different yarn. But if I had done, I was really considering. There were a few of them I was thinking about possibly using for this, and this is one, and this is what's shown in the original pattern picture, and this one is goldenrod. I don't know. Do you want to show those up close? Might as well, right? Or
Well, I'll show
you'll have pictures on the website too. Yeah.
These are more consistent throughout the skein. So you can see.
Yeah.
But you can see, like, it's fabric. So you actually are knitting with fabric, and it doesn't feel indifferent. I mean, it's not challenging. It's not different from, like,
no, it works beautifully.
Knitting with wool.
And actually, there is there's like a pattern outline on the Knit Collage blog using the wildflower for like a tank, for a summer tank.
I saw
which
that.
I'm
so
thinking
wearable.
I might need to do a 6 summer sweater. Maybe this.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be so cute? Though?
Yes.
I love it.
This one is ochre rose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This one is lotus petal.
I love this one.
I do too.
So pretty.
Rose darling.
Rose
Yeah,
darling.
I love that
This
pink.
is an Amanda.
This one is so fun too. Blossom.
I love this one. The pink and the green.
Yep. And it goes super well with, like,
So many.
Yeah, any
it's
of
a
those
nice pop.
pink rosy tones. Reflection pool.
This one was in mine set of minis.
Cool. Very aqua. This one is wallflower, which is so funny. I kept calling all the yarns wallflower for some reason. Like that was what stuck in my head.
Wildflower, they're close.
They're close.
It's a pretty
Cornflower, another flower.
I love that
dark
navy and
blue.
green.
This would look nice with this.
Ooh,
Yes, yeah, picks up those
with
light
green.
highlights.
That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think this one is in yours, Amanda, right? Beatnik?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beatnik is the
Your
wallflower.
fabric yarn in there.
Yeah.
And
It's
last,
soft.
Dusty Fleur.
I love
Which that
the
would
dusty
be
floor.
the colors really work so well.
It's so
Yeah.
it's like a really sophisticated colorway.
Then
Then we have.
Wait, there's one.
But wait,
Yeah.
these are
the mini skein sets.
Mini skein sets.
Finally, so these are the full skeins that we have.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
The wildflower. Now I'm confused. Wildflower, daisy chain, and spun cloud.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can also do mini skein sets, and they also have patterns that
Just for mini skeins.
that are just for mini skein sets.
Mm-hmm. Or mini skeins working with the spun cloud
Yeah,
too.
so working
like,
with the
yeah.
the
Well, that's what
spun
yours is.
That's what
Yeah,
mine is.
exactly,
Mine is spun
exactly.
cloud and mini skein set.
Yeah.
Yours
3
is
spun clouds plus a mini skein set.
So this mini skein sampler kit is bouquet.
Ooh, this is so pretty. I was looking at this one too for mine, but because I love that blue. So they have spun cloud, wildflower, daisy chain, and I think
Castaway.
Castaway, which is the other one with sparkle floof.
Yes. Oh yeah. I totally see the sparkle.
No, the Dreamland is the other one with sparkle.
Dreamland.
The Castaway is
Oh, Dreamland yarn.
the
yeah.
slubby.
the
thick
slubby
thin.
one. Yes, like that, which is very thin, and they have these big slubs. And yeah, Dreamland
Okay.
has sparkle
That's the Castaway.
floof. Yeah, this one is the daisy chain. This one is the sparklies.
Yeah.
So each set is made of those same 5 base types of yarn, and the colors.
The colors are
colored
grouped to
groups.
work together.
Yeah.
So this grouping is Ruby Sky.
Ooh,
That
pretty.
one. This one was a contender.
Yeah.
What was the name of yours again, Amanda?
Dusty Road or something like that.
This one is Geode. Yep, that's really pretty
Geode
with
is
the blue.
Oh,
Pretty.
you know what? We don't have a Pop-Tarts either because I took pictures of these and then
Oh!
I think Jen
And then you use
mine-
them. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we'll show the mini skeins. We'll show in our garment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Foggy Blue is that one. That's really beautiful if you like the blues.
That's a
And
beautiful
there's, like,
one.
Pop of pink. Look at that one.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, I really do think you could do something like this using that and just kind of cycling through them.
absolutely.
It would be really fun. Seashore.
Seashore. And then the other 2 kits that we have are the Pop-Tarts.
Yep.
Which has
you can see
bright,
the real bright. Yeah.
lots of bright colors. And then mine is Dusty Rose, which has all rose and neutral
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
colors.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I took pictures of these, and actually you can go on our website and see each of these mini kits exploded, so you can see
the range. Kind of.
You can see I took them out of the containers and put them side by side, so you can see what they look like out of the wrapper, because it's sort of hard. If I just took a picture of this, you'd only see 2 at a time, or just the tops.
Yeah.
So
nice.
You can actually see the whole skein.
Set, kind of.
Yeah, the full set.
Nice.
But they are sort of a hassle to put back in the containers after I explode them, so I didn't bother for Jen's and my minis.
Yeah.
That's why we
Just use them. They were already exploded.
Makes sense.
I was going to say I have some of mine in balls, but I think I was out of the wildflower when I ended up using it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is our knit collage table. So we're gonna do a knit along.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a quick knit along because it's not gonna take you that long to make something out of the knit collage.
No. We all did these in under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and we're not going to make it a 2-week knit along either.
No,
we're not going to be cruel.
We're not gonna be mean to you all. We're thinking September and October.
Yep.
So we'll have all of the details laid out in our newsletter, and whatnot. But we will have the samples in the store. We will have the yarn, obviously, in the store and online. The online launch. So we're launching in store on Sunday.
That's Sunday.
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. It's going to be in store only. It's these
just for that first day.
Just for the first day. You can see like these are actually quite bulky skeins of yarn. Like they're big.
Yeah.
And finding a place to put them.
To put 20 of this, 10 of that.
Right.
It's
a lot.
It's a lot.
We'd have to clear it. And actually, we should also say there's one other special event going on that day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, Shayla of Black Pearl Magic will have been here for her pop-up.
Yeah.
But she is also joining us Sunday morning from 10 to 12 for a sit-in knit.
Yep.
Which we are so excited about. I don't know whether there's going to be any merchandise left. I mean, there may be, there may not. We really have no idea, what we're going to sell on Friday. But based on previous experience, I wouldn't be surprised if we sell out. I don't know. But if it's a free event. We're not charging anything, but we are, so that we don't get overcrowded, we're doing free tickets. So when you're watching this, especially if you're watching it on Saturday or super early on Sunday, go to our website and look at the events for September 10th. And that event in the morning, if there are still spaces, you can do your free registration and come sit in it with Shayla and us here at Yarnia that morning. So, and then after that, it's going to be, and I'm probably going to wind up staying.
A quick change.
I'm going to probably wind up staying that whole day as well.
Yeah.
I'll see if somebody wants to switch with me. It would be for Monday.
Yeah.
Then we'll get out all of our knit collage.
Yeah.
We'll from noon, we're going to switch over from sitting it with Shayla to knit collage launch, and here in the store that afternoon will be the first time you can buy these from us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
they will be online
after midnight, right? Sunday into Monday.
Midnight Monday.
After we close on Sunday. At some point in the evening, but they'll actually be launched in the newsletter Monday morning.
There you go. That's probably the easiest way to think about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Just
They will be active when I get to my computer later that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want the best selection of colors and whatnot,
and your local
store and your local, pop in store on Sunday, and if not, you can come in store or you can shop online on Monday.
Yeah,
on
so
Monday.
beginning on Monday.
Yeah.
And and our prize for this episode, so I think we should say our question should be, if you're thinking about doing the knit along, which knit collage pattern would you do?
Yes.
Right? Do you want to do one of the ones that we've done? There are hats, there are cowls, there are shawls.
They have crochet options.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Which are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe I'll take my extra minis and do a crochet sample.
Oh,
that's a nice idea.
They look beautiful crochet too.
Yep. I'll do. Well, I don't have enough to do a true granny square. Maybe somebody can loan me some for a little granny square or something. But so all of any knit collage pattern using knit collage yarn will be part of our knit along that we're going to run, and we'll have to have some kind of prize for that. We haven't talked about what that is yet, but we can do a little prize at the end of that for anyone who participates with us. And your prize.
We have a lot of things coming this fall.
Oh, we have so many ideas and so many things in progress or in development.
Buckle up, kids.
Ooh, maybe I'll get something from Knit Eat.
There you go. Maybe you will. In France.
Yeah.
So our question for today is, what would you make in a knit along, in a knit collage, knit or crochet along? Make along.
Whether you want to participate or not.
Yes,
if you don't want to
participate,
see what inspires you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But
that looks cute.
But take a look at our bundles. And it'll be interesting to see what maybe we'll make some samples out of the bundles if certain things get a lot of votes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the prize is going to be one person drawn at random who answers the question what they would make in the knit collage knit along is a skein of spun cloud or daisy chain or wildflower.
These guys.
Yes. So any single skein.
Any single skein. Yep.
Not
so if you're going to do the knit along with us, that'll get you part of the way toward your your yarn for the knit along.
Could be a good part of the way depending on what you pick. Like the spun cloud has a lot of yardage.
It does have a lot of yardage,
especially for a super bulky. Love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yay!
Yeah. So that's where we are.
Yes. So thank you guys for watching and listening, and post below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and our newsletter, because we are going to be we have
got so much stuff queued up.
This fall.
Basically every week has new stuff.
It's gonna be a new thing coming.
We went a little wild.
Coming down the pike. So be sure to follow along. Instagram is a great place where a lot of things get announced there. Immediately, that's where the Black Pearl Magic pop-up was first announced, and then also the newsletter.
Yeah, the newsletter is key for me because I can't keep up with Instagram, and I feel like they don't always show me everything.
Yes, because the algorithm doesn't always like chronological.
So,
but you can always click on our little logo in Instagram and go see on
That's
the
right. That's right.
That's important.
Everything that shows you. So we're Shop Yarnia pretty much everywhere, and our website is shopyarnia.com. And make sure to like and subscribe because that really helps us out. And comment below so you can win a skein.
Yep.
And
all right. And we hope to see you in the knit along.
Yes.
For sure. We'll have to do some, whether it's at online knit night or something else, we'll definitely have some times where people can work and show off their projects and things.
Totally.
And certainly if you're in store, I'm here virtually every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Love to see what people are making. So, and we'll have, some of your basic knit along support. Like we've all said, we've worked with these patterns. We know how detailed they are. We can give you some. Take care.
Bye.